Do you remember the video that I did about the company of SEAL Team 6 guys who fired their employee over an allegedly missing AR-15 lower?
We saw him leave with the box. We saw him come back without the box.
He didn't send it?
No, it's still outstanding. Like the shipment still hasn't been scanned in.
Well, not just fired. He actually got arrested and taken out of his place of employment in handcuffs by cops who were basically fanboys of these SEAL Team 6 guys.
What's that? Right here. What's going on?
Hey man, just don't turn off any passport. You think it's saying that?
What?
We'll explain everything in a second.
Oh, y'all really serious?
I'm gonna walk back in there and say hi to my boy real quick.
Yeah. So 10 minutes after you guys left, this showed up.
Can we open it and confirm it's in there?
I have some updates for you about that, and I was actually going to leave it alone, but they hired this Beverly Hills, California lawyer who is demanding that I remove the footage off of my YouTube channel, and I'm not one to be bullied. Before we get into the updates and the drama, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video. My sponsor today is again Incogni. Check out Incogni using the link below or go to incogni.com/civil to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan just for my viewers. Why use Incogni? Because as a content creator and lawyer, I know that privacy is important, but many people are oblivious to the fact that their private data is collected and traded online by shady data brokers who create shadow profiles on you that include a frightening amount of personal details. This is then used against you without your consent by insurance companies, banks, businesses, and even the government. Incogni not only tracks down these data brokers that have your information, but they also then have that information completely removed. It's actually very easy. You just create an account and you don't have to do anything else. It just sort of works in the background. As of today, Incogni has located my private information with 232 different data brokers, and they've had that deleted with 191 of those data brokers. 41 others are still in progress. This would be a very time-consuming process, even with my experience, 143 hours and 15 minutes of time to be exact. But I haven't had to do anything. You just set it and forget it. Incogni does it all for you. So check out Incogni using the link below or go to incogni.com/civil to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Now let's get back to the video. Now, to be clear, prior to making the first video, I had no sort of proprietary information or private information from either side involved in this dispute. Some of my subscribers had submitted the Instagram post that James, this employee, had made that contained body cam footage. I was able to gather information about his side of the story from his social media posts as well as from his GoFundMe. I did try to reach out both to him and also to GBRS Group, the employer here, prior to publishing my video to see if I could find out additional information. I didn't hear back from either side before publishing the video. My interest in this footage was in what the police did, not in an employer terminating an employee, but it was the reaction and the body cam footage of the police officers involved. I think we see a sort of a special treatment, double standard, sort of a fanboy type thing going on here to the detriment of James, the employee. Information began to pour in after this video started to go viral. There were a lot of insiders, other SEALs, people very close to the individuals involved here that started giving me all sorts of information, really whether I wanted it or not, or whether it was really relevant to my interest or not. Some of that was interesting, though, because it explained who this guy was. And I was actually sent a media article about this guy. And this is from the Stars and Stripes. The title of the article is 2 Navy SEAL Leaders Fired Over Sexual Misconduct Allegations from July 10th, 2018. The article states that 2 Navy SEAL leaders were relieved of their duties Monday following investigations into sexual misconduct accusations while they were deployed in Africa, Navy officials said Tuesday. Commander Jared Donaldson and Master Chief Petty Officer John Franklin were fired from their positions as a unit commander and a senior enlisted advisor by Captain Jamie Sands, the commander of the Naval Special Warfare Group 2, said Navy Lieutenant Jackie Maxwell, a spokeswoman for the Virginia Beach-based SEAL unit. She said that both men had been reassigned to other duties within Naval Special Warfare Group 2. So the guy who appears to have instigated all of this stuff is another employee of GBRS, a former SEAL, not just SEAL, but SEAL officer, Commander Jared Donaldson, also working as an employee at GBRS.
Saw him leave with the box. Saw him come back without the box.
He didn't send it?
No, it's still outstanding. Like the shipment still hasn't been scanned in.
So you have no idea where it is, just he left what they came back without it.
Correct. You know if he just took it through the dumpster, maybe he shipped it somewhere else. We really have no idea. Like,
So it's
where
just a
it is.
BCM lower?
Just a BCM lower.
So this guy is complaining to the cops that James allegedly is on video walking out of the business with this BCM lower. Then later the same day, he's also on body cam saying, well, here is the actual BCM lower. Here it's in my desk drawer. It showed up just 10 minutes later.
So we got the box? Where's it at?
Taylor, can you give us a break? I'm sorry? Can you punch out here for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just shut the door. Yeah. So 10 minutes after you guys left, this showed up.
Can we open it and confirm it's in there? I know, but like...
Nope. But as soon as Cole brought it in, he opened it.
Oh, he did?
He did. It's in there.
I'm really happy that this happened.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
I don't know what y'all's policy on like THC is here and stuff. He had a weed pen on him.
Okay.
I was initially charging him with that, but they didn't grant it for me.
029.
Wonderful. Correct serial, everything? Okay.
So there's the actual missing BCM lower right there. And for context, when the officer just walked in to view that lower, he had just left the presence of James, whom he had just finished releasing from custody.
Saved by the freaking mailman.
Hell yeah, appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for being cool with me and cooperative with me.
Because like my man, I knew like ain't
Yeah.
do shit like
Like,
it
and
had
that's-
to get worked out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And like I said, if that happened and you were already in custody, then like you would have just been unarrested back out here. I'm gonna go in there, talk with them. All right.
So James did not personally bring in that lower. So from what I can tell, the working theory or the allegation or the implied allegation from GBRS here, assuming that a UPS delivery guy or whomever brought it in 10 minutes after they left, the implication is that this is somebody who acted in concert with James, and that James must have called from jail or from the police station and said, hey, you need to bring that lower back. And then he brought it back. I've seen no evidence of that. If they do have footage, any footage at all of James that day, it has not been provided to me. I have requested from their lawyers. I have offered to do an update video with their side of the story and to review and show any additional evidence that they had that James did something wrong that day or that exculpates them or the police from doing anything wrong. I've received no additional evidence at all. So I've seen no footage of how that AR-15 lower left the building originally, and I've seen no video evidence of how it made it back in to the building, if it ever left at all. And another thing about former Commander Donaldson is I'm told that that is who Officer Reyes was talking about when he said, I'm going to go inside and talk to my boy.
I'm gonna walk back in there and say hi to my boy real quick, and I'll meet you guys there.
So apparently that was his boy, Donaldson. A part of what appears to be going on here is that one of the founders of this company, GBRS, is actually a pretty famous guy, DJ Shipley. As a former SEAL Team 6 guy, he's been on all sorts of these podcasts that you've heard about. He apparently does a lot of training with cops, and it makes sense that they're sort of fanboys to this guy. One of the things I immediately started to hear from people is that they had done this sort of thing before to this guy named Slade, another SEAL Team 6 guy, far as I can tell, who apparently was one of their original business partners or something like that. There are some videos on YouTube about that already, and I don't want to go into sort of all the drama between them, but I thought it was interesting that there is some relevance. It's kind of like what happened here happened before to their former business partner, Slade. When things went south, what did they do? Shipley apparently called his cop buddy or cop buddies to come and help him with that situation. And from what I could tell, this guy Slade then gets confronted by cops while he's there with like his wife and kids or something at this business. And I really wouldn't even mention it, except for the fact that somebody sent me the actual recording. Listen to this.
Hello?
Yes, sir. This is Wally here, Virginia Beach 911. You got a 911
Did you
call?
report it?
You there, sir?
Yes, sir. Hold on one sec. Sorry. All right. Did you call him? I have 911 on the phone right now. We're safe. Sorry. Hold on one second. I apologize. Hello?
Yes, this is Virginia Beach 911. I got a 911 call from your number.
Yes, sir. There's a non-emergency. I apologize. We're good.
What's going on?
We had somebody. We have a non-emergency. Hold on. We have just a employee that was just kind of terminated from a position and just kind of showed up to work. It's not an emergency, but the nature of business is defense contracting, so there's just obviously weapons and stuff. He has concealed, so he's just here grabbing stuff, but the nature of he's just left.
Which business is he at?
GBRS Group. I can give you the address.
What's the address? All right. Is he a white male, black male, Hispanic male?
White male.
What's his name?
Yes, sir. He's here with his wife and kid as well. So I don't expect anything, but...
What color hair does he have?
Black.
And what color shirt and pants was he wearing?
He's wearing a black shirt, black shorts.
All right. And he says with his wife and kid?
Yes, sir. We have two owners, so we know a bunch of dudes that are Virginia Beach Police Department, so he was reaching out to someone, and so he stepped out of the office. He's like, call the cops, so I called 911. Just because this guy was not anticipated to be coming to work anytime soon, and the fact that he just walked in and this relationship just kind of went sour yesterday.
All right, so, I mean, is he known to be violent or anything, or?
No, not yet. Nothing as of yet.
Okay, so what would you like us to do to help you out?
We just need somebody to just come, I guess, facilitate, if at all possible.
As far as what? System facilitating what?
Just this individual is trying to come pick up their stuff. He's back in his office.
All right. Is he not allowed to be there to get his stuff, or what?
No, he's not.
Does he know that?
Yes, he has been told.
Okay.
He was told to leave. Is Brad up there speaking to us?
I don't know. We just finished training DV SWAT, so I think it's coming over.
They just finished, the guys as well, just finished training DV SWAT. They're doing some NOS training with them, and he just reached out to that lieutenant as well, so I think he's en route as well.
Okay. All right. I'll go to update the case and go from there, okay?
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
That was the phone call between DJ Shipley and 911 dispatch. There were some redactions there that were not made by me. I did cut out dead space just for the sake of convenience. I was told that this was an example of DJ Shipley, the co-owner of GBRS, calling his cop buddies in Virginia Beach to intimidate somebody. In this case, the former business partner or whatever it was, Slade, who's there with like his wife and young son, and the cops are called to come confront them. Now, I don't know the underlying facts, and that's not really what I'm interested in. But this is yet another example of somebody with a cozy relationship with the local cops, bringing them in to a internal dispute or a civil dispute that the cops should not be involved in. Anyways, after I posted my first video on this, then I get contacted by their lawyer, this guy out of Beverly Hills, California, for some reason. And he talks to me. I say, look, I'm happy to do a follow-up video if you want to provide me more information. If you want an interview, whatever, I'm down for it. But all that ended up happening was they issued this statement. And this is the statement that they issued. It said, GBRS Group terminated an employee last December. This past week, 2 months later, their unemployment claim was contested as they were not laid off. This prompted an internet campaign by the former employee that falsely labeled the basis for the termination was racially motivated, or that there were false accusations made to the police by white employees. We are one unit that works together. In fact, the employee's supervisor is a person of color as well as the employee's replacement. It is unfortunate that GBRS Group even has to issue a statement like this, as the basis for the termination had nothing to do with anything other than clear breaches of company policy dealing with the shipping of firearms. Here are the facts the company believes to be accurate based upon the information it has uncovered. 1, the employee delivered a customer's purchase to a Federal Express store with a UPS label based upon video surveillance. Again, I haven't seen where that's been provided or uploaded anywhere. 2, the employee initially denied delivering it at all. 3, the UPS driver arrived to pick up packages the same day the employee drove what looked like a UPS labeled package to a FedEx store. When it was determined that a firearm was missing, federal law requires the filing of a police report. One was made. The employee had no explanation as to why he removed the firearm from the office for drop-off instead of having the UPS driver pick up the package from the company's warehouse. In fact, the UPS driver showed up within a short while after the employee left and returned from dropping off the alleged package at FedEx. He also had no explanation as to why he tendered a UPS labeled package at FedEx instead of UPS. He finally had no explanation as how the driver for UPS suddenly had back in his possession the missing firearm that was tendered at FedEx weeks earlier, and how or why he was contacted to retrieve it and return it the same day the employee was detained by the investigating officers. When the package was delivered back to the company immediately contacted the police department, who decided to cancel the detention pending further investigation. The company is still investigating the negligent release of its firearm. The company also reached out to the former employee to attempt to resolve this matter and obtain further information. The former employee has not returned any calls nor responded to inquiries by the company. Unfortunately, in the footage that I've seen, I don't see anywhere where we hear the employee's explanation or lack of explanation about any of this. All we see is the cops walking in and sort of surprising the guy and just arresting him first, and then taking him down to the police station in handcuffs and interrogating him while detained. So they arrested him first, asked questions later. I mean, that was the whole point of my video. They would not have done that but for this relationship and trying to impress the SEAL Team 6 guys. Initially, after the video came out, I spoke with their lawyer on the phone. Then months went by, and then I get out of the blue an email from him June 25th of this year. And he says, "Hi, John, we spoke back in February. We've been in arbitration with Mr. Humphrey," that's James. "He's made it clear that he does not believe nor have any evidence that the company did anything based upon any racial motivations. Also, much more evidence has come out which shows he intentionally took a UPS package to FedEx and just left it there without a receipt. He never brought a counterclaim and the case has been close to resolving. Meanwhile, your video is causing our client to lose a lot of revenue because it provides a distorted narrative of what happened and leaves James blameless. He caused the entire problem by not following procedure and for being negligent with the lower. Can you please consider removing the video now? We never did a counter video which you offered, but my client would be willing to provide some lost revenue to you if that is even an issue to avoid the threats, hate mail, and lost business. I'm attaching the link below. Please help me work something out here so that my client can live in peace and this matter will be resolved by the arbitration that is pending. Thank you. So I sent him an email back and I said, I understand that your client is less than thrilled that this video is out there. As you note, however, I offered to make a follow-up video with your client's, quote, side of the story, so to speak, along with additional information and evidence you could provide. I'll also note that I requested a copy of the police report from both sides of the dispute, and neither provided it. And not being a Virginia resident, I was unable to get it through the Virginia FOIA statute. I'm still willing to do a follow-up video if your client wants to get their side of the story out there or otherwise respond. However, I'm not willing to delete what is currently the second most all-time popular video on my channel. As you know, your client's former employee is not my client, nor did I make the video on his behalf. I simply became aware of what he publicly posted on his social media, which I in turn posted about utilizing public domain body cam footage. I didn't receive or rely on any information received from the employee in making my video. I don't believe I communicated with him at all until he reached out to me after the video was already released. As I believe I mentioned in the video, I have no dog in the underlying employment fight. I don't take issue with an employer firing an employee in general for any reason. What I took issue here, as I explained in the video, were the actions of the police officers. While I sympathize with your client and appreciate their service, I don't feel that I can delete a video documenting what I believe is police misconduct, documenting constitutional violations, even if I were offered money to do so. Moreover, even if I did so, it would undoubtedly be noticed, in my opinion, causing someone else to repost the footage, bringing more attention to the situation. If your client is receiving threats and hate mail, I suggest that you take that up with the individuals who are sending those messages, or contact law enforcement. And as far as lost business goes, I didn't create the situation, as you know. I became aware of it through my audience, and I do what I do, which is to break down police body cam footage to my audience and to educate them on government misconduct and civil rights law issues. Even if everything you say is true in regard to the underlying facts, it still doesn't excuse the actions of the law enforcement officers documented in the video, which is my interest in the situation. Nevertheless, I'm willing to do a follow-up video if your client is interested. In fact, I'll even consider giving you the opportunity to preview and pre-approve a follow-up video prior to it being released if you're concerned about the editing, etc. I understand that if you're in some sort of arbitration or mediation, that may not be possible. Perhaps an option is to get the former employee to agree to provide a statement clarifying his current position. Again, if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. Or if you just want to provide additional information that clarifies the facts, I'm happy to take a look at it. No response. Until just a few days ago, July 26, 2024, out of the blue, another email. Dear Mr. Bryan, the video you are posting now has been removed by the arbitrator in our litigation. Would you consider now removing it as the originating publisher can no longer post about? Would you consider now removing it as the originating publisher can no longer post it? We would like to avoid any request to your social media account to have it removed. You can, of course, still leave the story up, but the media should be taken down pursuant to the arbitrator's order. Does that work for you? We will pay for any time or readjustment of your site. It is also on your Facebook page as well, sincerely. That really made me angry when I saw that, because what he's threatening to do is to go directly to the social media platforms and issue a copyright infringement takedown. His client, GBRS, has no copyright ownership to my content. Even the body cam, and especially the body cam portions, those were not produced in any way by his client. This is my content. He has no legal right to have it taken down. So here was my response to him. Issue a fraudulent takedown on any of my social media platforms, and you and your client will be sued in federal court. If you're not familiar with federal copyright law, I strongly suggest you do some research first. Thanks. So that's where we are with it. I didn't even plan on doing another video about this incident, but if they are going to threaten to issue fraudulent copyright takedowns on any of my social media platforms, they have another thing coming. I'm not a former SEAL Team 6 guy, but I am somebody who has been standing up to bullies, in the courts anyways, for a living. And nobody scares me. You know, one of the problems that you encounter when you involve police in your life is you are creating things of public record, such as body cam footage, such as recorded 911 calls. And just because you're very important or you have a record of service in the military, it doesn't mean that, unlike the rest of us, you get to wipe those public records clean. One of the first things that I told this lawyer in our first phone call was, you know, I'll make a follow-up video. A lot of times, and I've been doing this for a while, if you just do nothing, keep your mouth shut, things blow over, and it's not a big deal, people forget, they go on to something else. And that's exactly what they did not do. And they're continuing to do that. So that's where we are. If you want to follow along, subscribe, both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Oh, also check this out. Quiggy's Barbecue has made a custom The Civil Rights Lawyer Freedom is Scary steak rub. 25% of the profits from this product are going to be donated to the Institute for Justice. To be clear, I'm not getting a penny. This is a fundraiser for the Institute for Justice. I tried the steak rub already on some nice ribeyes a couple days ago, and it is fantastic. I'm going to put the link in the description, and I'm going to keep it there in future videos along with the discount code. So check out Quiggy's Barbecue Freedom is Scary steak rub, because our rights don't end where your fear begins. Because freedom is scary, deal with it.